Yo, what's up? I'm Randy Floyd and you're watching episode 4 of the Ask Midwest Anxiety Show.
When this life gets a little tough, the people start to run. Well, don't you just walk away? That's when I'll say, well, don't give up.
So wow, here we are at Spin Pizza, second day of spring. It's actually colder out today than it was yesterday. Yesterday I was at Dairy Queen, don't know if you caught episode 3. I was at Dairy Queen eating a free cone thanks to Dairy Queen on the first day of spring. This being the second day of spring, I'm here at Spin Pizza. Got great pizza, I love coming to Spin. In Overland Park, Cheesecake Factory, Sprint campus across the street. Love eating here at Spin Pizza. But all in all, this is an awesome week. Really excited about this week. Doing shows every day this week. Thursday, so Thursday's show will be posted on Friday, but I'm going to be down at the Sprint Center, Power and Light District this weekend. Going to be some awesome NCAA Midwest regional games. KU, Rock Chalk, Jayhawk. Really excited about the Jayhawks being in the Sweet 16, facing Purdue. You'll see me on Thursday in I think I'm going to go my 13 straight championship shirt, but I'm a big Rock Chalk Jayhawk fan. Love this time of year, the NCAA tournament. So we got that going on. Really excited about some of the stuff we've got going on at Midwest Anxiety. We've got some great classes coming up in the next week or two. A class called BARF that I'm really excited about. So if you know anyone that struggles with the V, let's see, can we do that? The V word, and that would be the B. Vomit. Yeah, people that are afraid of getting sick don't like to say the word vomit. But we've got that coming up next week, and then one of our favorite classes, Anxious Kids, Anxious Parents, we've got coming up in the next couple weeks. One of the cool things about our classes is they're all online, so you can take any of our classes from the comfort and convenience of your computer. You can be sitting at Spin Pizza, you could be sitting in your living room, you could be at Starbucks, connecting, listening to us. It's live, online. It's kind of like a webinar. You can see me through my webcam and audio. I can't see you or hear you, so I found that that's really something that people like, is just to kind of sit back and be able to chat through a chat room through the class. So anyway, really excited about classes, excited about just getting out in the community and doing this show, getting a good cadence down, getting a good just pattern of doing this show on a day-to-day basis. This show is all about answering your questions. So what do you say? Should we get into the show? Let's get into the show. So our first question is, I struggle with talking to people. I'm afraid that they are going to think I'm stupid. Any thoughts on how can I be less anxious in social situations? So someone that's struggling in social situations, people they think that people are judging them, and I think that this is something that even right now, as I'm sitting here with the camera and I'm in Spin Pizza, no one around, but certainly the workers are here. I'm kind of thinking in my head, I wonder what they're thinking of me right now as I'm sitting here with a camera in their restaurant taping and those things. So that's kind of going through my head. The struggle is, and I don't know if you found this, but I certainly have struggled with this. Once a negative thought gets in my head, then that kind of starts this process. And when we start talking about cognitive behavioral therapy and how thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are connected together, once you get one of those negative thoughts in your heads, and that creates that cycle, sometimes it's really hard to stop that cycle. But really, I think the key to unlocking this idea about people judging you is really for you to care more about yourself and feel confident in yourself, and not care as much about what other people think about you. Really feel comfortable and confident in yourself, and then certainly take into account those close people in your life, your friends and your family, but all those other people that you don't know, or those things, you really you just can't allow those feelings to kind of seep into your head, or those thoughts to seep into your head. A lot of us struggle with the fear of judgments in others, and when we start having that thought, then that gets in our head, and then we start having physical feelings where we might start getting anxious, our chest might start to tighten, where our breathing may start to become pressured and rapid, and their behavior is we just want to avoid it. That's a whole cognitive behavioral process that goes on. So kind of what I'm going to say here just with this question is really don't give 2 cents to those people. As I'm sitting here kind of taping this, kind of my thought pattern around people, around the workers that are here is, I'm really not even caring about what they're thinking right now. I'm just sitting here wanting to connect with you guys, wanting to connect with you in this video. And if they come over and ask, what am I doing, I'll tell them, I'm shooting a video or whatever that would be. But I'm really not even caring about at this point kind of what they're thinking. And because of that, my anxiety, I don't have near the anxiety I would if I really was kind of worrying about that. Actually, kind of when I first started this process, I did care a lot about what people thought and being in public and that kind of stuff. Certainly it's probably a little easier as I'm shooting here without many people. But as you saw in yesterday's episode at Dairy Queen, there were people all around and I was just zoned in. So really don't focus on the other potential judgments of other people. Just stay locked into yourself and how you think about yourself and get good at that. And that's all we can ask for at this point. So hopefully that helps. Focus less on other people, focus more on yourself, and we'll be good. Next question, what advice would you give an 18 to 22-year-old who's struggling to figure out next step in life? So I work with a lot of 18 to 22-year-old young adults where, you're in that kind of transition, and, maybe you're taking some college classes, maybe you're working, moving out of the house, maybe living with friends, whatever it would be. And my advice always starts with a P, and that word is patience. Have some patience, man. You got the rest of your life to be able to figure things out. Don't be in a rush. What I would like for you to do is between 18 and 22 is really think about what you want to do in your life and really try things out. Don't feel like you have to have it all figured out now. Is to really be patient and don't jump too fast at something. If it would be work or if it would be a relationship or whatever it would be, it's just take some time for yourself. You're out of high school, you're in your college years, that's the time to really take some time for yourself and to look at what the next chapter is in your life. But patience, 18, 22, 24, 25, 30, 40, we have to have patience. Life is a grind, and in that grind, we have to understand that good things aren't going to come fast. So if that would be in work or school or whatever it would be. So really focus on being patient. The other thing I would really encourage 18 to 22-year-olds to do is really start to look at yourself and find out what your interests are in your life. Really takes a good self-inventory and figure out what you're interested in, both from a leisure standpoint and an occupational, academic standpoint. Those years really take a a little bit of time of self-discovery. But most of all, patience. If I could give myself as an 18 to 22-year-old any advice, it would be have patience. I think sometimes, I think it can go two ways. It can go either one way where I don't really care at all and I just kind of want to zone out of life and not do much in my life, or it can be the other way, is now I got to really be focused and I got to really figure out what the next step is. But I would just say be balanced and be patient and let life come to you. All right, last question here. My 7-year-old has trouble getting out of the car in the morning when going to school. Any ideas on how I can just pull up to the drop-off curb and she can get out with a smile? Here's the thing I'm going to tell you as parents here. I think one of the things that you might struggle with as a parent is that you can't force your child to do anything. You can't force your child to get out of the car. You can't force your child to go into that school. And really, the thing that you have control over is yourself. And talk with a lot of parents about, regardless of how their child performs or regardless of what their child does in situations, how are you going to be able to control yourself? Because you are a model for your child. And if you're showing that you're upset, or you're showing that you're anxious or whatever, your child's going to pick up on that. So what I would encourage you to do is find ways that you can stay regulated yourself. Pull up to the curb, and ask your child to get out. And if not, what I would say is I would pull over into the parking lot and really encourage your child to get out of the car. Don't force, don't carry. I always encourage parents to allow their child to make those choices to get out of the car rather than picking them up. And the reason why I encourage the child to get out rather than the parent picking the child up or pulling on the child or whatever it would be is because this is a long-term thing. This is something that is not only going to happen today, but it's going to happen tomorrow, and it's going to happen the next day, and it's going to happen the next day. And if your child's in 3rd grade, your child's going to be in 5th grade, 6th grade, 8th grade. And at some point, you can't physically force your child to get out of the car. So I would encourage, first off, to pull over, encourage your child to get out. Now, what I would say is, and this is one piece of advice I'm going to give you that I think has worked well in some instances, is for every second your child is late to school, then your child owes you time after school, owing you time doing chores or maybe writing a note or a letter of what's going to happen tomorrow, that maybe they'll be better getting out of the car. But for the time that they're late going to school, the time that they're late in school, then they're going to owe you that time. And so I think that potentially being a consequence for them of owing you that time, then now they have to make a decision. Do I want to stay in the car or do I want to be late to class and owe mom and dad that time? Now, because everyone's context is different about their situation, the next steps after that about owing that time, you really have to determine what that's going to look like for you. But what I found is when kids learn that I'm in control of my consequences, I can either get out of the car and I can go into the school, or I can stay in the car and owe mom and dad time, but still have to go into the school. I see kids at times making choices just to get out of the car because they don't want to owe that time. So episode 4, here we are. Spend Pizza. It's been great. Talked about a little bit about social anxiety. Talked about 18 to 22-year-olds and talked about trouble getting out of the car. This show is, I think, great. I'm really getting excited about doing episode after episode. The struggle here is, and what I would encourage you to do, is take these nuggets that I'm giving you and apply it in your everyday situation. There's going to be situations in your life where my answers may apply and they may not, but I want you to take the little nuggets that I give you and apply it in your life. And that's my goal, is to hopefully give you things that you can start to think about and how you could apply what I'm talking about in your own everyday lives. So here we are, episode 4 in the books. Really excited about doing episode 5 tomorrow. Really excited about trying to get you engaged in asking a question. Go to any of our social media. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and at MidwestAnxiety. Use the hashtag at MidwestAnxiety, or excuse me, use the hashtag AskMidwestAnxiety, and just ask us a question. I'd love to answer your question on a future episode. Question of the day. I want to know what your favorite restaurant here in Kansas City is. Here at Spin Pizza, love Spin Pizza. What's your favorite restaurant in Kansas City? Leave it in the comments. Guys, until next time, take good care. Peace.